Why, hello there. How are you today? This is Coach Sue here. And really just asking and wondering, are you not sure if you understand what resilience means? If you hear someone else use it, or, if you wonder for a fact if you are actually using it every now and again, or maybe you're just not sure you would recognize the word resilience or the state of resilience, um, or even if you just need to be more resilient. What about that variation? So, I'm Coach Sue, and welcome to my very first live training on what I'm liking to call the focus words of the week. So, if you are here joining me live, awesome. Let me know, um, or just say hi. Just say hi. Let me know maybe where you are from, where you are coming from, so that I can kind of get to know you and begin to help you out in this whole idea of, again, the word, the power words or the focus words is really what I like to call this, the focus words, and that whole idea of what is the focus word for this week is resilience. And I'm going to give you 3 tips in order to help you either use the word or use the concept or recognize it in your life, whether it's in your job scenarios, whether it's in your surroundings, right, with your friends, your family, your work, like I said, or even in your health, um, anywhere, right? Where does resilience show up for you? And like I said, if you're here live, just give me a thumbs up or a hello, Sue, or even just let me know where it is that you are coming from. All right, so let's get into this concept of a power or focus word. And like I said, resilience is it. And just going back to some basics with, what is the word resilience? Remember that there is some other concept words that are very similar to resilience, right? Resiliency, resilient is the root word. So, again, this whole idea, what is resilience? I looked it up so that I wouldn't screw this up and get this wrong. Looking up the word or the definition of resilience, it says it's the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. And then another definition that I'm going to share is to spring back into shape. Okay. So again, resilience as a noun or resiliency as a state, I guess both of those could be states, or an adjective of resilient, to be resilient, right? So how does it show up for you? Just learning that definition or just revisiting the definition, how does that show up for you in your life? Um, are you actually struggling with understanding when it occurs or it appears? How does it appear for you? Or maybe you're really just wanting to, again, like I said, get more resilience, especially in this stage that we are in my community. Just to share a little bit here, my community, my local community, the fitness centers and the gyms and the studios have now been given the okay to open up again, which is exciting news. It's exciting news for sure. Um, but sometimes there's some hesitation when we go back to doing the things that we had done before. Or maybe you hadn't done going to the gym before and now you feel that this is an excellent opportunity. Take advantage of it. Either way, whatever scenario you are in, that's fine. And again, if you want to share that, just let me just type it here in the comments. I will certainly address that if you have a concern with it yourself, going back to the gym. But let's get back to the word resilience and what that sounds like or appears as. So, for instance, let's go with a facility or a gym setting. That's my scenario that I coach women with a lot of the time. So I know that one the best, versus a work scenario versus a relationship scenario. Um, for most people, they are very willing, very ready, very ready to get back into the gym setting. And I do know with some conversations already that some of those women are actually having second thoughts about going because they have this idea of should. I should be able to do such and such again. I should be able to move in such a way that I used to be able to move. Totally understand that. Um, but resilience will not show up for you if you have that attitude of the shoulds. Because what that means is that you really have experienced it before, this idea, this new environment that we're in, this pandemic that we've experienced, right? Um, and therefore, you're going to have, well, I would say, a negative connotation with that word should. I should be able to, I don't know, squat a certain weight or deadlift a certain weight, or I should be able to be as flexible as I was when I left the gym, right? And therefore, this idea or this resistance to actually come back into the gym and have an expectation of your body that it should be able to do this again. And that's not going to sit very well for you, unfortunately. Just letting you know from experience, from myself and from others that I've coached along the way. Um, so, the best approach and the best tip that I can give you is to drop the should, to drop the attitude that you've been through this scenario before and the expectations of you are, you know, pretty high. So, unfortunately, that's not resilience. That's not resilience by any means. You will actually feel pretty defeated. You will stop going to the gym. That's how it's going to appear for you, whether it's in 1 week, whether it's 10 days, whether it's 2 weeks. I don't know. Everybody's different with that kind of concept. But what I'm saying is that the best way to find resilience is to drop this shoulds. That's my tip number one. Second tip out of three is to use the past as a way to examine your strengths. Because most likely, nobody has really experienced this before. This idea of being away from the gym for, what is it, like 4.5 months, maybe 5 months for some of us. So, really, we haven't experienced this before, but there might be a similar scenario that you can actually draw from, or this idea that maybe you have been away from the gym for possibly 5 or 4 months, whatever the scenario is, in the past. And this time around, it just has a new label, right? This pandemic, this everybody's been restricted. You can't come into the gym, right? And maybe before you chose not to go to the gym for those 4 or 5 months. So in reality, you do have experience with this being away from the gym. So draw on the strength of what you did in the past. You were resilient in the past. You got back in and you probably started exercising again. And maybe you started off a little bit slower or a little bit using less weights, right? This whole idea of doing something kinder for your body so that you could be resilient, so that you could spring back right into shape. I like that definition. When I saw that one, I'm going, oh yes, I'm going to write that one down. Because the expectation of being perfect with that whole I'm going to be in shape as soon as I walk into the gym will not work, right? Nor will expecting you to be in shape after, I don't know, 4 visits, 1 week's visits, 1 month visits, right? Uh, whatever you want to fill in the blank there with. So again, using your past as a way to examine what did you do that worked for you? How did you show your resilience to just be there, to just be present with it? And the third tip, the third idea that I have for you to maybe cultivate more resilience is to have confidence. Have confidence in yourself. And if this makes sense for you, or if you've applied any of these strategies in the past and you have something that you feel is valuable to share, then please pop it in the comments or on the replay. Just type replay first and then whatever it is that you would like to share. And I will come back to this and expand upon that a little. So, yeah, having the confidence is the last idea that I would like you to use to build your resiliency or to be resilient or show resilience. All of those words make the same meaning. Or using your past and determining what the strengths were from the past experiences that you have to actually be able to walk into the gym again with this resilience, right? Show your resilience in that way. And last but not least is to let go of the shoulds, that almost judgment voice that you might have for yourself when you're back into the gym setting again for the first time. Let go of the shoulds. And that's it. Those are the 3 tips that I have for you to really understand what resilience would look like, maybe some scenarios, how it appears in your life. And if you can apply that to, again, an environment where it's at work, there's some resilience happening at work, then let us know and let everybody else know how it appears for you and maybe any tip that you have for resilience. Maybe in a relationship, with family, with friends, or just an environment or just anything in general that you feel you have resilience. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on my very first one, my very first focus of the week, the word resilience, and looking forward to next week's word. And again, 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, depends on the day of my schedule, and I will just let you know ahead of time. All right, thank you so much, everybody, and we will talk to you again next time. Bye for now.